my dear students, welcome to Teacher at Home. Today class we are going to learn the sixth chapter, that is India, the land of synthesis. I went to the Juma Masjid and later visited the unpretentious residence of the minister Abul Fazl and Abul Faisi. As I entered the modest house of Faisi, I felt as if the saint poet was saying a Sri Krishna Kirtan sitting in front of the emperor. I stepped into the Juma Masjid through the royal entrance. The rock surfaces were glowing like gold, reflecting the red hue of the setting sun. Salim Chishti's pure white Samadhi Mandir was shining like a white jewel at that time. No sign of any Dinilahi followers on the verandas of the mosque today. I am the only pilgrim there today. I climbed up the stairs and reached the door. There was a silver horseshoe on the door opening of the tomb of the Emperor Akbar. It was the sound of the hoops that reminded me of something. I could see in my imagination thousands of mounted Rajputs rushing to my father's side to help him. Given above is an excerpt from the autobiography written in Persian language by Jahanara, the daughter of the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. This description throws light on the cultural synthesis of India during the medieval period. Information of medieval Indian culture could be obtained from different sources such as the autobiographies of the rulers, biographies, travelogues, chronicles, and historical works. It was an age of fusion of different cultures. New styles developed in literature, music, painting, sculpture during this period. You have an understanding at different religious beliefs and practice in India. Different religions came to India at different periods. This led to the formation of new ideas in the medieval period. As a result of the mutual influence of these ideas, the Bhakti and Sufi movements emerged. Sufi movement. You have acquainted with Sufism in the previous classes. The Sufis were those who showed reluctance to luxurious life and gave prominence to spiritual life. They came to India in the 11th century from Central Asia. The Sufis settled in different parts of India. They got many followers. They considered devotion as a means to reach close to the God. They believed that one who really loves the God will be close to God as well as the people around him. They preached to respect all human beings. The Sufi saint was known as Pir or Sheikh or his follower Murid. We are familiar with the Khanqahs, the residence of the Sufis in the previous classes. These were the centers of socio-cultural life of the period. Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti of Ajmer was one of the famous Sufi saints. He opined reciting devotional songs in a way to get close to God. Devotional songs residing in the Sufi centers are the Qawwalis. Sheikh Nizamuddin Aulia was a Sufi saint who was respected by the rulers and the people alike. Center of activity, it is Sufism. In the Islamic text, Sufism was represented by the word Tasawwuf. Historians ascribe different meanings to this word. According to some historians, the word Sufism was derived from the word Suf, meaning wool. They hope that this word represents a loose dress worn by the Sufis. To some other scholars, it was derived from Safa, meaning cleanliness. Center of activity was Delhi. The Sufis helped to maintain relations among different religions during the Sultanate and Mughal periods. Observe the table given below. From this, you will get a picture of the important Sufi saints of the period and places related to them. Baba Farid Ayodhya, Syed Muhammad Jasudaras Gulbarga, Shah Alam Bukhari Gujarat, Bahuddin Zakaria Multan, Sheikh Sihabuddin Satit Suhrawadi. The Bhakti movement. Why roam the forest, wander through the towns, perform strict tapas as in books laid down? Why fast and starve, sit gazing at the blue? One thing alone will do, your rescue come. Faith in him, Lord of wisdom true. The above lines are taken from the poem of Appar, the famous saved saint of the Bhakti movement. You have discussed the Bhakti movement in previous classes. Bhakti aims at self-dedication of the God. The ideas and activities that merged in the medieval period of the basis of the devotion of God is generally known as the Bhakti cult. The Bhakti movement became popular first in South India. The features of early Bhakti traditions are given below. Its propagators were the saints who were Bhakti poets, challenged the conservative Brahmanic traditions, provided representations of the lower caste and women. rendered contributions in the field of culture and music. Alvas and the Nayanas. The Bhakti movement emerged at first in Tamil Nadu. This movement was led by the Alvas and the Nayanas. Alvas were Vaishnavas and Nayanas Saivitis. They composed and propagated devotional songs. Both Alvas and the Nayanas opposed caste inequalities. Among them, there were women saints also. Women saint Antal was one of the famous Vaishnava saints. Another woman saint, Karakal Ammayar, was a Saivit. The Virasaiva movement. The rich will make temples for Shiva. What shall a poor man do? My legs are pillars, the body the shine, the head the cupola of gold. Listen, O Lord, to the meeting rivers. The immovable shall fall, but the moving ever shall stay. The lines given above are from the Vajana Sahityam by Basavanna, who lived in Karnataka. The Virasaiva movement was a popular one that emerged in Karnataka in the 12th century. As the Veerasaivas wore Shivalinga in the neck, they are known as the Likayats. The leader of this movement was Basavanna. The Veerasaiva movement was one of the early movements which stood against gender and caste discriminations. They were Saividas. The idea of Veerasaiva movement are given in the following diagram. The Anubhava Mandapam was a democratic platform that came into being in connection with the Likayats in the 12th century. In the conference held as Anubhava Mandapam under the leadership of Basavanna, people irrespective of caste, religion, gender, etc. were given entry and were allowed to participate in the discussion. This paved way for the protects against social inequalities, also led to question caste domination, upheld the dignity of labor, propagated the ideas of liberty and social justice, opposed caste system, gave priority to gender equality, promoted widow remarriage, interdinings and adult marriage, questioned the doctrine of rebirth. Basavanna was the first to speak about the dignity of labor. Basavanna instructed every individual to accept a job and do it sincerely. He said that we can understand God through the duties we perform. He also reminded that every job of his world was its own greatness. Vajana Sahityam, the literary form of Kannada language, became famous in connection with the Veerasaiva movement. Basavanna, Halama Prabhu, Akka Mahadevi, that is made tremendous contributions to Vajana Sahityam. Through the Vajanas, Basavanna challenged the primacy of the Vedas and also encouraged social reforms. The Vajana Sahityam held in the progress of Kannada language. Bhakti movement in North India. The Bhakti movement, which had its beginning in Tamil Nadu, later spread to North India. God is called by many names: Allah, Ram, Karim, Keshav, Hari, Hazrat. God may be shaped into rings and bangles. Isn't gold all the same? Decisions are only in the words we invent. A part of the Doha of Kabir was an important figure in the Bhakti movement given above. He reminds that the Hindu and the Muslim were the two wares made of the same soil, and he tried to promote brotherhood between Hinduism and Islam. Aim of Kabir was to propagate a religion of love, uniting people of all castes and religions. He strongly opposed all discriminations on the basis of caste, religion, class, family, and wealth. He focused on the unity of humanity and vehemently opposed the caste system and untouchability. He rejected ideal worship, pilgrimages, and baths in holy rivers. He was not in favor of forsaking family life or accepting sainthood. Idea of Kabir developed through discussions and deliberations on the basis of the Bhakti Sufi traditions. Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak was another preceptor who focused on the idea of monotheism. He tried to combine the ideas of Hinduism and Islam. He was a spokesman of the ideals of religious tolerance and universal brotherhood. He opposed the rituals of both Hinduism and Islam. He said that one has to maintain purity in character behavior to reach God. He vehemently opposed ideal worship and pilgrimage. He promoted a middle path which permitted spiritual life along with the responsibility of a householder. The prayer songs known as Sabbath were the distribution of Nanak. He strongly opined that all human beings are equal and there is no need to cast distinction among them. He instructed his followers to have food from the common kitchen. He also instructed that the people of all the castes could take food from the langar. The ideas of Nanak later led to the emergence of Sikhism. Women representation in Bhakti movement. Many women were attracted to the Bhakti movement. Poetess Mirabai of Rajasthan was famous among them. She was a devotee of Krishna. She composed a number of bhajans. All these were prayer songs addressing Lord Krishna. The songs of Mirabai were recited by the people of Gujarat and Rajasthan even today. Mirabai did not have a band of followers or group of her own. Yet she was considered as a source of inspiration even after centuries. Besides Mirabai, the presence of women was visible in the Bhakti movement in different parts of India. Daldat of Kashmir, Bahinabai of Maharashtra, Akka Mahadevi of Karnataka, and Andal and Karakal Ammayar of Tamil Nadu were prominent among them, results of the Bhakti movement. Even though the Bhakti movement evolved with the aim of dedication of God, it created certain qualitative changes in the Indian social system. The propagators of the Bhakti cult, through their work, words, and songs, maintained that everyone was equal in front of God. It strengthened the concept of social equality against caste discrimination. Idea of gender equality also began to take shape. Idea of social equality got wide popularity since the movement was led by low-caste people like Tirupanna Alvar, Kabir, and Haldane. Regional languages developed when evil practices are questioned. Growth of regional languages. The propagators of the Bhakti Sufi movement spread their ideas through their vernacular languages. This was to enable the common people to understand them. This resulted in the growth of regional languages. Many languages such as Punjabi, Kannada, Telugu, Oriya, Assamese, Marathi, Bengali, Sindhi, and Malayalam evolved during this period. The word Urdu means camp. The language which was spoken by the army men of different languages was Urdu. Its grammar is that of Hindi. Its words are taken from Persian, Turkish, and Hindi languages. In almost all part of the country, Persian was the court language of the medieval period. Hence, many Persian words can be found in many regional languages. Out of the relationship between Persian and Hindi, a new language, Urdu, came into being. Urdu is the most important example of the cultural synthesis of India during the medieval period. Urdu, which was spoken in the Deccan, was strongly influenced by the languages such as Telugu and Marathi. Gradually, Urdu became the most popular spoken language in the towns. In the western coast, merchants used Arabic. Soon it began to influence the regional languages of that area. Because of the influence of the Arabic language, a new mixed dialect, Arabic Malayalam, evolved in Kerala. People also used Sanskrit during the Middle Ages. Sanskrit was used in the court of Vijayanagara on festive occasions. Sanskrit prevailed as the language of higher education. The popular literature of Sanskrit, such as the Puranas, Ramayana, and Mahabharata, were available in the regional languages. The Persian literature influenced some poets and writers of the period. The most notable Persian writer of the period was Amir Khusro. His love towards India and the pride of being an Indian is clearly revealed through the content of his work. During this period, a large number of Indian works were translated into Persian language. Ramayana, Mahabharata, Atharva Veda, Upanishad, etc. belong to this category. The historic chronicle of Kalhana, Rajadharanjini, was translated to Persian during the reign of Kashmir king Zainul Abdin. Hindi received a tremendous impetus during the medieval period. Ramananda and Kabir delivered their normal moral advice in Hindi. The Dohas of Kabir were the finest example of Hindi literature. The Susagar of Surdas, Ramacharitamanasa of Tulsidas, the Bhajans of Mirabai and Padmavati of Malik Muhammad Jayasi enriched Hindi language. Languages Bengali translated Mahabharata into Bengali. Sri Karanandi Kavindran. Bengali Ramayana, Kirtivasa Oja. Marathi Gitas, Vamana Pandit. Oriya Kavyas, Saraladasa. Telugu translated Mahabharata into Telugu. Nannaya Tikkana Yara Pragada. Tamil Tirumurai Appar Sambandar. Nalayara Divya Prabandham. Alvas. Kannada Kaviraja Margam Amoga Varsham. Malayalam Adhyatma Ramayana Kilipatu Eluthachen. Music. Indian music could captivate the heart and the mind like no other country's music could do. But even after 30 or 40 years, foreigners still found it difficult to comprehend the subtle nuances of Indian ragas. The above words are of Amir Khusro's. the greatest musician of medieval India. It was during the medieval period that music was enriched with different forms. Considerable progress was attained by the Carnatic music, the musical style of South India. The famous Carnatic musicians of the period was Naik Gopal. A large number of musicians migrated from Deccan to North India during the medieval period. During the same period, a new music style evolved in North India due to the influence of Persian music. It came to be known as the Hindustani music. Amir Khusro, who lived in the Sultanate period, was one of the famous Hindustani musicians of the Sultanate period. Amir Khusro was a great poet and musician. He played musical instruments and was a singer too. He gave shape to Sama, the special Sufi custom of playing musical instruments and singing songs. This is a custom of praising God by chanting a prayer just before and after the Qawwali. Amir Khusro received training in different aspects of Indian music from the Carnatic musician Naik Gopal. The medieval rulers were patrons of this category of music. New forms of music emerged during this period. The technique of Persia was experimented in Indian music. The singing styles such as Khyal and Tumri got popularity. Many such musical instruments like sitar, sarangi, tabla, etc. also became popular. A special interest of some Sufis is singing also were responsible for this. It was through the Sufi saints that Khyal and Ghazal became widespread in India. Musical works of Sanskrit were translated into Persian during this period. The work on music Ragapa Darpan was translated into Persian during the time of the regime of Firoz Shah of Tughlaq. Emperor Akbar was a great lover of music. Abul Fazl states that 36 musicians were patronized by Akbar. The most famous among them was Tanzan. The Darbar Raga, which entered the Hindustani music, was his contribution. The work Sangita Ratnagaram, authored by Sangradevam of the 13th century, was an important contribution of medieval India to music. Carnatic music of South India was influenced by the Persian and Arabic music during the Vijayanagara rule. During the medieval period, you had a discussion on the important construction and the features of the period in previous classes. It was during the medieval period that new styles of architecture, such as the Dravida, Nagara, Indo-Persian, etc. Blending of different cultural styles was the specialty of the age. Observe the picture. For painted during the medieval period, see the specialties of the paintings of the age. Painting style that came into vogue during the Mughal period is known as miniature painting. This style of drawing pictures like pictures in books. It was a combination of both Indian and Persian styles. The Mughal Emperor Humayun called active Persian artists and Mir Sahib and Abdul Samad who brought into his court. The Mughal style of painting was developed by them. Many competitions were organized in the royal institutes during the reign of Akbar. People from different sections participated in them. The story of Mahabharata completely combined into a series of paintings called Rasnama, but this was fully during the period of Akbar. Indian subjects and natural scenes gradually became the themes of painting. Painters of the period showed their proficiency in drawing the pictures of birds and animals. The quality of painting increased considerably during the reign of Jahangir. Chamas and Abul Fazl were the greatest painters of this period. Kalyan Das was a painter during the period of Shah Jahan. There were groups of painters during the medieval period. They were from many parts of India, such as Gujarat, Kashmir, Deccan, etc. These paintings were influenced by their respective regional styles. The paintings were based on the themes of Puranas and stories of both India and Persia. The wall paintings of the time were also remarkable. Wall paintings on the Gangu temple, Sajju temple during the period of the Cholas, are an important feature of medieval painting. Rajasthani style was another style developed during this period. It was a combination of tradition and Mughal style of painting. The cultural synthesis shaped in medieval India brought many changes in the history of India. The greatest model of this synthesis were Din Ilahi and Sikhism. Din Ilahi was developed by the king, whereas Sikhism emerged from among the people. The new styles introduced in the fields of architecture, painting, literature, and music enriched the mixed culture of India. People from different regions of India, followers of different religions and institutions, did make their contribution to the cultural synthesis. India, the land of synthesis. Sufi movement, Khwaja Moinuddin Chisti, Sheikh Nizamuddin Aulia. Bhakti movement, Alvas Nayanas, Kabir Sudas, Tulsidas, Guru Nanak, Mirabai. Veerashaiva movement, Basavanna. Cultural synthesis, growth of regional language, music, architecture, and painting. That's all about this chapter. If you're interested, please do like, share, and subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you.